this, you fucker? Huh? How do you think for a second I will let you get away with this? I've lost everything. We're family. I mean, you're my brother. My fucking brother!
I thought this film was so good and had such a wonderful concept of a brother's betrayal and how it destroys a family and what decisions could be made to change things. Strong action scenes, they're so professionally done. A very strong lead actor with an excellent performance, good intensity. I thought the flashbacks worked really well for the storytelling. There was a lot of tension and suspense throughout this film, and I really liked the idea in the end where the deceased brother's spirit comes back to tell his brother he has a chance to make a decision to run to Mexico. It's almost as if he's forgiven by the dead brother who mentions it'll give you a chance to be a father to your daughter.
I love that we saw both scenarios. After he killed his brother, we see what would happen if he did surrender and what would happen if he didn't surrender and he followed his brother's advice. But yeah, we don't really know which ending is the correct ending and which ending is the one that actually came to pass, which I thought was interesting. It definitely ends on a cliffhanger as he makes his choice, which is always fun. I thought the acting in this was excellent, so believable, so powerful, especially in the beginning when he's arguing. It was all very realistic feeling, very real and raw. But yeah, all the dream hallucination sequences helped me get into his mind and, this chaos that was inside his head over what he has done and what he's, messed up his life entirely.
That was intense, yo. I was on the edge of my seat. Like, great acting, great intense emotion, great directing, I think, is how I'll encompass it. Because, like, directing, using all the elements of film to create a feeling in the audience, and I felt something. So yeah, I thought it was really effective. I thought the whole like non-linear narrative technique was used expertly here. Like, had me like piecing it together. It was like Nolan-esque as far as playing with time and playing with non-linear storytelling. Not just for the sake of non-linear storytelling, but in the fact that it's non-linear, suggesting something about the story itself and something larger.
I think it deals a lot with the complexities of guilt and familial drama and dealing with one's conscience. And I think you do a really great job of navigating the complexities surrounding those situations, and you do it in a way that's incredibly intense. I think the pacing is really great in this. I think the action sequencing is really great in this, and those tied together to build upon this, to have that final release with the brother coming back and revealing all is forgiven. You can go away and it'll be like starting new and having that freshness and that new beginning. Really interesting piece.
This character has been enraged and disappointed in his brother, so very much so that he becomes enraged and brings a golf club to his brother's home and doesn't even necessarily give his brother a chance to explain himself before he's decided to kill his own brother. And as he sits here, taking acknowledgement and this action for what he's done and turning himself in right away. There's this moments that play in his mind of these different outcomes from his choice. Does he run off and just keep running for the rest of his life? Does he go into jail? These things that happen when you're in jail, that are very eye-opening, like sexual assault, losing your family and the way that they look at you, and really coming to terms for this heinous crime that you have committed, and doing it to someone that you know and love and cherish, and immediately having this regret for your mistakes that you've made, but you've made them and you have to kind of sit in this bed in this action. And so, you get this moment of all of these different actions playing out on the screen here. And then at this end, you wonder, is he going to run or is he going to surrender? And you see this moment where it's a close up on his face. You see these speckles of blood, and the lights come on the screen, and it's red and blue, and you see that he's waiting to be taken in, and really taking this acknowledgement for the actions that he's done.
There has to be so much hatred. So the betrayal has to be severe enough to make him this desperate that he would have enough hatred for his brother to move forward to it, and not only move forward to it, to admit it and not feel remorseful about it. It doesn't really allude specifically to the betrayal, but you can assume it has something to do financially just because of the scenes with the contracts. They allude to them being in business together. They allude to, I've lost everything. So, when I think of what would make someone very desperate, money has a lot to do with it. When we see this contract signing, it may allude to more than what was happening in this first conversation, and about how he felt that he was betrayed. We start to see glimpses of a woman and glimpses of a love life that he formed, which I think was a great touch because it takes us out of this mindset that this man was just a monster. Because without that, we might have just thought that we're in his subconscious, like we're in his memories. It's like a series of montage of memories, and just like almost as he's going through the motions. And then we get into his subconscious where he's dealing with the conversations that he's had with his daughter, with his wife, with his brother. And his brother is almost coming back to him in the form of, a subconscious aspiration, or a ghost or something that is telling him to run and not to surrender. Like, that's not what we do. We don't surrender. What are you doing? Which I think is just very interesting, because then we see him running. So we see an alternate ending.